Welcome to Business Reporter's Future of Retail campaign. I'm Rachel Hicks. The COVID-19 pandemic has driven stratospheric growth in e-commerce transactions. As physical shops shut their doors in subsequent lockdowns, online stores have boomed. But not all retailers have been able to cash in on the ever-growing online demand. The stark reality is that traditional retailers must improve their omni-channel offering and fast, or face obliteration by Amazon and other digital-first competitors. So can smart transformation of online experiences see retailers beat Amazon at its own game? That's what we're going to discuss today with Roland Gossage, founder and CEO of GroupBy. Hello, Roland.
Good morning.
Is it true that e-commerce businesses and online retailers have never had it so good?
Well, it's a little bit of a myth or a misnomer, is that when you actually look at the facts and figures, well, you do see some impressive numbers in the increase in digital and online spend. If you look at these retailers as a whole, you can actually see that the businesses are not benefiting as well as it looks in the figures. A couple of case in points would be Walmart. Again, for their quarterly numbers, online surged another 35%. This was after almost another 100% surge in the previous quarter during the pandemic. But if you look at total sales, they're only up about 2% overall, which didn't meet Wall Street's expectation. Also, if you look at their operating margins, they were actually down 12.7% for that quarter. The same would go if you looked at Target's numbers, another large retail chain, and for them, they saw a surge of 141% on the online sales, while gross margin decreased 450 basis points, which is quite significant. So it shows you that they're not making off like bandits when it comes to this digital wave that has happened because of the pandemic. And it's mainly because of one of sort of two things. One is now these retailers have to compete online competitively with the likes of Amazon and other very strong digital channels.
So can you elaborate on these challenges? Maybe give us an example.
Yeah, so one of the things that retailers are seeing is the cannibalization of their in-store sales into online. And that poses a couple of very unique challenges for retailers. The first is that their online experience doesn't mimic the store experience. And this is things like once I'm in a store, I have your undivided attention. You're browsing, you've got visual cues, you're constantly being cross-sold and upsold as you go through that journey in store, and that's not mimicked online. So retailers are challenged with creating that similar user experience or similar journey in the digital space as they do the online space, and making it as easy and also as pleasant and triggering the same sort of emotional responses that you would do in store. The second challenge, and this one is a little bit more hidden, is that a lot of retailers, as they've made the move to digital, are actually running on their competitors' technology, and mainly in Amazon web services. And so AWS, as it's referred to, is a cloud hosting solution powered by the largest retailer in the world. And that retailer uses the information from that service as well as the revenue for that service to compete against the very retailers that use it. And so it's a bit of a conundrum, and I've heard a lot of different stories on, well, we don't view them that much as a competitor because we're a brand. There's many reasons why not. But until the retail sector, distribution, and brands stop feeding their number one competitor, they're not going to truly be able to prosper in this new digital world. So what that means is that while we may see soaring digital traffic and online sales, it is not directly relating or correlating back to gross profits and operating margin.
So if I'm one of those struggling retailers, what do I need to do to overcome the problem?
You have to create a superior product discovery experience. You have to mimic as much of that online experience, or that in-store experience, as you're getting with the online experience. The other thing is that you have to remove all the friction that exists within your process. And so if that is adding things like same-day delivery or BOPIS, which is buy online, pick up in store, being able to take whatever type of credit mechanism your users have, so if it's things like Apple Pay and Samsung Pay or Google Pay, being able to really take all of those areas that would stop a user from having that similar experience and take them out of the equation. The other thing, as I've stated before, is really getting onto a partner like a Google cloud services versus an Amazon, and not feed your competitor to continue to buy AdWords against you, revamp their user experience, and achieve profitability through your dollars.
So how does GroupBy help retailers do this?
Well, GroupBy helps create a fundamentally better user experience, and one that can rival, or if not beat, Amazon. And that's our goal as a company. And so we operate in a space called product discovery. And so when you think of product discovery, people think of things like search and merchandising, cross-sell, upsell, recommendations, and personalization. And so in short, we put the right product in front of the right user at exactly the right moment, so that they have that superior frictionless user experience. We enable easy to use services like same-day delivery and curbside pickup, or BOPIS, all through a single SaaS cloud platform that can be implemented in a matter of weeks. And to further reiterate is that we create that in-store like experience online, in some cases actually surpassing it, and having a better online experience where there's a preference to do that kind of shopping, and using things like curbside pickup and buy online and pick up on store, where you're actually adding more things to cart, you're getting back that profitability and that gross margin that you'd benefited from in the in-store. And the other thing is, again, competing with Amazon, as I talked about, is Amazon doesn't have physical locations, and really leveraging the stores that you do have and making them an asset to compete with Amazon versus a hindrance. And so because we blur the line between digital and brick and mortar to create that click and mortar environment, we actually allow you to leapfrog and beat Amazon at their own game.
So let's say I'm a CEO and I want to work with you. Do I have to replace my entire system and have you write me a new one?
So we would always recommend against a replatform. The big bang approaches, A, are more costly, B, they are not fast and nimble, and often you do not realize additional benefits from a complete redesign. And so with the way that we approach things in a API first or headless way using microservices, is that we can deconstruct components of the site today, accomplishing those goals that we talked about earlier about removing that friction, and do it in a fast and agile fashion so that you get lots of wins quickly and often. And so with that approach, you're going to be able to immediately see the benefits over the matter of a couple of weeks and a couple of sprints, and then continue to develop that as an ongoing improvement versus a big bang approach, which is, again, a lot more risk and a lot more complex.
Okay, so can you give me an example of a client who's benefited from GroupBy solutions?
I would pick Bed Bath & Beyond. Bed Bath & Beyond, obviously a great iconic brand. We engaged with them just less than a year ago. They had been slightly challenged with shrinking sales and market share and revenues and margins pretty much across the board. They brought in a brand new executive team to the organization. That executive team tapped our shoulders and asked us if we could come and do what we do best and revamp that digital experience, in conjunction with a slew of other, again, like I said, those microservices components of same-day delivery, BOPIS, and then creating a personalized, highly relevant user journey on the website. And in that combination of that refresh of core components, we're able to see that they had same-store sales increase 2%, and digital was up over 100% year over year, and continues to maintain that sort of level of use. To put it in perspective, is that on a regular Sunday, Bed Bath sees the same level of traffic that they used to see during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So they've successfully transitioned to a digital-first strategy in less than a year, to show you that it is possible to achieve these goals that we're talking about.
So how do you see retailers succeeding in the online marketplace going forwards?
Well, we're really at a turning point, I would say, in our e-commerce and retail journey. There will be two camps. There'll be those who take heed of this and realize the changes that they need to make and pivot quickly and take advantage of all of the modern techniques and abilities that the market has to offer and compete with the likes of Amazon and beat them at their own game. And there will be those who move too slow and do not take advantage of these. And most of those retailers and brands will likely not be around in 5 years. So we will look back at this moment in time as a point where many of the retailers who are around in 5 years made the right decisions to be healthy and compete against the likes of Amazon.
Roland Gossage, founder and CEO of GroupBy, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.